All right, welcome back to Fleck and Socks, the podcast, episode 224. Today on the show, Trump is the Time Person of the Year. We're going to show you how they tried to trip him up in the interview. Then, more alien sightings across the United States. We're going to tell you the most compelling theories as to what they are so far. Then, Joe Biden is auctioning off border wall materials to try and hinder Trump's next term. We'll tell you what's going on there. And last but not least, in Cringe of the Week, Caitlin Clark let us down again. We'll tell you how. All this and more, it's Fleck Talks the Podcast, episode 224, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleck Talks the Podcast featuring Richard Grab.
All right, one for one on the intro, as always. Guys, our country witnessed a moment we'll never forget. We saw a man get shot on stage, rise up, fist in the air, and in defiance scream, "Fight." Sadly, a lot of us have lost our fight, and that's exactly how the globalists want it. They want us weak, out of shape, and full of estrogen and microplastics. This is why we're excited to partner with Chalk. Chalk offers a whole lineup of products formulated to increase your energy, focus, detoxify your body, and boost your testosterone. The ingredients in Chalk's Male Vitality Stack have been clinically studied to boost free testosterone by 87% in just 21 days. Unlike the gimmicky vegetable pills or powder, you will feel the difference, and they have clinical studies to back it up. And right now, you can get 25% off of your Chalk subscriptions for life. Just go to chalk.com, CHOQ.com, and use promo code FLECKUS at checkout. 25% off of your subscription for life. You can cancel at any time. Chalk is made in America, and their all-American customer service team is standing by to assist you. It's time to make men's vitality great again. Get Chalk today. CHOQ.com is the website. FLECKUS is the promo code. Go there now. They support the show. Let's support them right back. You can also call or text them at 50 CHOQ 3000. That's 50 CHOQ 3000. Thank you to sponsoring. Now let's get into housekeeping. All right. Thank you to Chalk for sponsoring.
Thank you, Chalk.
Thank you, Chalk. That's what it's like. We're getting to 4 plates on the bench machine. So thank you, Chalk. Every week, I just keep adding the weights, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without Chalk. We're going to get a video of that soon. All right. Happy Friday, Richard.
Thank you.
It's a Friday episode. You know what that means?
Same as a Tuesday episode.
Same as a Tuesday episode, but people are happy that there's no work tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go.
Feels good. All right, let's get right into the stories. We have a pretty packed show, a little light in the housekeeping, but great Cringe and Urban, as always, and uplifting.
Yep, Urban is my favorite.
Urban's got some good stuff, so stick around for Urban. First story, the FBI had 26 confidential human sources at the Capitol on January 6th, including 4 who entered the Capitol building and 13 who entered the restricted area around the Capitol, according to just released DOJ Inspector Report.
Just released DOJ Inspector Report, and the date is December 13th, 2024. That was January 6th, 2020.
And December 2024 is basically 2025.
Exactly. So thank you. 4 years later, and we've just been watching videos of we need to go into the Capitol and all that shit.
And we've been saying this forever. Like, of course there were feds there. There's so many things that were unnatural that, like, the MAGA people weren't doing and weren't happy with. And now we find out, oh, yeah, Trump's going to be in office in 3 weeks. By the way, we did have some FBI guys there.
Yeah. And, you know, Trump's going to pardon them on day one. And I think he said day one, hour one, possibly in the first 9 minutes, I believe was the quote.
On his way. Yeah. He's going to call it in on the way in the beast.
Some of those things are just easy to have pre-written, and then you just submit them when the time comes.
That's going to be a good one. And they were also spying on Kash Patel.
Yeah.
I remember they said Iran hacked him or whatever, and Iran, I think, is our own deep state. So Kash Patel is going to be angry once he gets to his desk.
I actually saw some reporters ask him. He's doing like a henchman walk through the halls of somewhere, and they were like, "Kash, are you going to get revenge? Are you going to do revenge?" And he just goes, "Thank you," like no comment.
That's what I like.
Kash, we hope you get revenge, please.
Yeah, we need a revenge tour. We've been calling for it. Yeah. All right, our next story. Can you read the headline?
Hundreds of vials of deadly viruses have gone missing from a laboratory, and scientists warn they could be weaponized. These type of headlines start leaking right before a Trump term.
And then they go, "Oh yeah, we told you about that."
Yeah, we led on that. Come on.
I actually have a theory. We've said it in the show before, but my theory is that they're going to release a deadly virus, and then all the Trump supporters are going to say, "Oh, we're not doing this again. We're not locking down. We're not masking," or whatever it is. And then maybe it's a virus that would require that type of reaction, and then everyone will die, and then they're going to blame Trump supporters for killing everybody.
Fair.
And I also have another theory, which I haven't said. You know how Big Pharma's kind of on the chopping block with RFK coming in?
Yep.
If there's all these deadly viruses going around, it's another opportunity for Big Pharma to become relevant and come, "Oh, you have this deadly monkeypox virus. Oh, this Big Pharma company made the vaccine or the treatment for it." And it gives them a chance to kind of be needed instead of chopped up.
What's this in my pocket? What's this in my pocket? Oh, is it the antidote for exactly the thing that escaped from the lab?
Can any other company make that? No, you need Big Pharma again because of the deadly virus. So there's some timelines where something like that happens.
Yeah. That'll be $250 a pop.
Yeah. And then it kind of takes the attention off of all the vaccines and the childhood illnesses and stuff like that.
For sure.
All right, our next story, the Pope is opening a portal on Christmas Eve.
Not just one, Pope to open 5 sacred portals on Christmas Eve. This ritual has never been done before. And the door at St. Peter's was sealed shut by a wall of bricks, but on December 2nd, they were ripped down to ready the door as a part of rite of recognition.
Some people are saying this is where demons are.
I don't know.
Some people are saying it's a Jubilee year thing. But whenever I don't trust the current Pope. I don't like the Pope. So whenever they are opening portals, I go, probably shouldn't do that.
I'm leaning towards a symbolic portal, but who knows? Maybe someone else, maybe a commenter can tell us more, but it doesn't sound good. Again, right before Trump term, portals, viruses, they're throwing shit at the wall.
Aliens. Yeah. We're getting busy. The show is going to be very busy.
I know.
All right. Nancy Mace had a little bit of an incident. She was wearing a sling the other day while walking around the Capitol. Can you explain what happened?
Yeah. From her own post, she said, "I was physically accosted at the Capitol tonight by a pro-trans man. One new brace for my wrist and some ice for my arm, and it'll heal just fine. The Capitol Police arrested the guy. Your trans violence and threats on my life will only make me double down, fuck around and find out," she says.
Sad to see. And apparently it was like a really aggressive, 5-second handshake.
Yeah, someone was trying to fucking wriggle her out. And I don't know, is the sling overkill? Is it a little attention?
Maybe
is she really hurt?
I hope she's okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's a Jussie Smollett scenario, but I think she might be embellishing a little bit. Nancy, hope you're okay.
But it is crazy because if you think about AOC meets a Trump supporter and he shook her and now she's in a brace, we would never hear the end of that.
Yeah, so it would lead on CNN for months. There'd be an investigation into it. But yeah, Nancy Mace. And I don't know, there's no footage, there's no camera of it, but maybe more will come out later. But monitoring closely, trans extremism. People are already openly calling for deaths of more CEOs and shit. Mm-hmm. So the crazies, organized wise, here's a prediction that I'm going to make. We've kind of said on the show, BLM is lethargic now. These groups, these big protests, it's not doing the same for the masses, the resistance culture. But I think the individual crazies are still going to be spiking.
We're getting into a lone wolf season.
Exactly. That's exactly.
I agree with that. And then, they're going to be like lone wolves, but who knows how they're organizing behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Okay, into our next story. Time Magazine Person of the Year, Donald Trump. Great picture. The last one they did, they put the M on his head and made it look like devil horns. So this time, I guess it looks a little more professional. And then here's all the other Time Magazine covers he's been on. So he's all over it.
He's a volume player.
He's a volume player.
And this is the best one yet. I'd like to imagine Time Magazine having their little meeting on who's going to be Person of the Year. And they're scrambling. What about that girl in Syria who, fought for medicine for all the locals? It's there's kind of no one else but Trump. to be
especially after the assassination attempt. He got shot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, whoever's next. Sorry, buddy. You may be next year for Time Person of the Year.
Yep.
And then the article itself.
And I'm sure they wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm sure they really thought hard and racked their brain in a meeting, coffee, got like pizza at night, trying to come up with new ideas, but they had to end on
There were probably some non-binary people there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Who were like, should we really be giving him a platform?
Yeah.
You know, so they tried their best not to, but they couldn't not. And then there were some questions in the interview for the article itself that were pretty interesting. One, they asked, do you trust Netanyahu? And Trump said, I don't trust anybody.
Good answer.
Good answer. That is correct. Yeah. And then there's one that Raheem posted I thought was really good. Can you read what it says?
He's answering a question and he says, I'm for this country. I'm not for other countries. By the way, do you want hors d'oeuvres or anything?
And the guy goes, no, that's generous. Thank you. And he goes, you sure?
Yeah.
So
Trump wants him fed.
They want him fed. And then when it comes to immigration, this is what we said in the intro about they're trying to trip him up. They're trying to like downplay his immigration attempts and what he's going to do. And I saw an article today how like deporting all of these illegals can lead to the biggest economic collapse since like the Great Depression. They're trying to like plant the seeds that deporting everyone is not the move or not financially responsible.
Yeah.
Can you read the question and the answer?
Yeah. Time says, so you're saying there won't be new camps, more camps to hold detained migrants? And Trump says, well, there might be. Whatever it takes to get them out. I don't care. Honestly, whatever it takes to get them out. Again, I'll do it absolutely within the confines of the law, but if it needs new camps, but I hope we're not going to need too many because I want to get them out, and I don't want them sitting in camp for the next 20 years. I want them out, and countries have got to take them back, and if they don't take them back, I think he threatened tariffs after that, after the quote.
I think that was word for word.
Yeah.
You can read it in his voice, and it sounds exactly like him. So yeah, obviously the plan is to deport everybody as is needed. There was actually a scene at the border wall a few days ago where Border Patrol ran over a cartel member. So they're getting through the wall. And then Tom Homan's driving. Boom!
Oh, we got a runner.
Tom Homan's driving.
It's an ugly game out there, you know? Some people are going to get hit. Some people are going to get scraped up by machinery, beat up. It's a risky journey, and we want that to be in the back of people's minds. What you're doing is taking a risk. You're crossing the government of the United States, and we're not soft anymore.
And if I saw that, I would say, maybe stay on this side.
Yeah, maybe I have power. Maybe nobody comes after me when I'm the cartel in Mexico, but when I'm in the U.S., things get a little dicey. Also, in terms of the Time Magazine question, they're already setting up like the bad visual stuff for Trump where it's like, you're not going to do the camps, are you? You're not going to put the kids in cages. You're not going to do all this. And they're trying to like handcuff him or get him to make a promise before he gets in office so they could say, well, you said you wouldn't do this or whatever. And, you know, a Time Magazine reporter, they're trying to be apolitical a little bit. But it's the same type of person who would never, ever vote or, you know, endorse deportation of any kind. And now they want to be the people who are moderating or controlling how people get deported. It's like the left in general lost their right to determine how people are deported and treated, getting them out of the country when they let just a nonstop flow of people come across, right?
Yeah, exactly. The same people who are responsible for bringing everyone in are now saying, like, how are you going to get them out?
Yeah, you can't be mean to them. You can't be too mean to the people we let in last year.
So you guys just brought them all in.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want to get them out because you broke the law bringing them here.
Yeah, it's kind of a by any means necessary mandate at this point. And I like that Trump stood tall and said, well, you know, whatever, we got to get them out.
And if the economy eats shit for a little bit, yeah, you make some back in tariffs and maybe it goes down. We're at all-time highs anyway.
Yeah, and then housing prices, you know, the middle class, certain things that'll help people who aren't looking for cheap, unlimited, borderline slave labor, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the meatpacking industry who's using all these, like, Hispanic miners in Nebraska. I don't really give a shit. I give a shit about what I'm paying for housing and, like, local stuff and third world criminals in my neighborhoods, right?
Yeah, and then long term, if you make these corrections, you build like a solid foundation that can go for hundreds of years.
Yeah, exactly.
And then while
offset it with a little energy production, we drill the oil, we start pounding some other sectors. Like, we're going to be fine, guys. We got to rip the Band-Aid off. Otherwise, we don't have a country. We just have an economic zone to be taken advantage of by the entire planet, right?
Third worlders. Yeah. And then while this is going on and there's the deportation talks, Joe Biden started auctioning off border wall materials for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah. Weeks before Trump takes office, Biden is racing to auction off unused border wall materials. Video shows trucks hauling wall materials off the border to a government auction site. Here's the government auction site overflow.
And Wokeness posted it. It looks like each giant steel bar is going for $5 a piece.
I don't know the price of steel too much, but I would say that might be under scrap value just to move it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see some American entrepreneurs buy it and then sell it right back, or buy it and donate it back. Some type of move like that.
That would be sick. That's what I'm hoping for too. And then we have some clips of the stuff getting moved here in all these trucks.
Yeah.
Getting rid of it because Trump's going to use it. That's treason, right?
It's one last fuck you at a minimum, treason at a maximum, right?
Yeah. And then speaking of Joe Biden doing treason or treason adjacent behavior, he's been pardoning a lot of people. Many of them are Chinese spies. Can you read that headline?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's obviously doing a lot of clemency, grants for clemency, but just this one particular sector, Joe Biden pardoned 39 people today, including Chinese spies and an individual convicted of possessing child, you know what. And the White House says that they were individuals convicted of nonviolent crimes. And here's a couple of examples. Conspiracy to commit economic espionage, conspiracy to commit trade secret theft. That's Yangjun Zhu in Ohio. So Joe Biden had to get that guy off for some reason. And then another one, conspiracy to defraud the United States, impersonating agents of foreign governments. So some sketchy ones.
Very sketchy ones. Maybe they're friends with Hunter.
I don't know.
Those are Hunter's buddies.
Hunter's pals. I don't know what they were stealing, but it just seems weird, It's not something, doesn't seem like the focus of a president seems like a favor rather than, some sort of issue that he's passionate about.
And maybe the one who had a child was just Hunter Biden pictures. Hunter Biden's laptop.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're okay. That was Hunter's laptop.
Oh, God. I don't even want to think about it. I mean, those types of people are the worst of the worst. And to let someone like that off.
The guy had thousands, like 40,000 images or something.
Crazy.
Very crazy. All right, next.
It's one of those things where the leftists or Democrats, they just do it, and then they don't even have an explanation. It's like, oh, I don't, why are you here? And you're like in the process of committing a crime, and you go, I don't know. Like, there's no even like justification for it.
Yeah, big time.
It's dark.
All right, next story. Mark Zuckerberg donates $1 million to Trump's inaugural fund.
Yeah.
That's an interesting move. I think he's coming around, Mark Zuckerberg. He's like hanging out with UFC people. His testosterone's going up. But we can't forget what happened in 2020. So if Mark Zuckerberg really wants a redemption arc, I think he needs to cooperate and basically tell us how 2020 played out with all the election stuff and the sketchy Zuck bucks, all that stuff. So until I see that, $1 million isn't even a lot of money.
Just talk to cash. $1 million, nothing for a super billionaire like him. And it's one of those questions, is he really in or is he just kind of playing the game? It's kind of like Time Magazine. Are they reluctantly supporting or is it genuine? And obviously with Time, it's not genuine. And with Zuck, I mean, time will tell. And he didn't do anything for Democrats this election cycle. So I don't know. It's a mix, right?
It's a mix. Believe it or not, we're into the final page of housekeeping already. Make sure you guys use this opportunity to tickle the post, help us juice the algo, leave, like, comment, post, a notification, old episode watch. You're not my best, but you guys know what to do.
It's okay. You can phone it in every once in a while. It's a Friday episode.
I couldn't do it today.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it today. But I do know I know the words. I just didn't want to.
For sure.
It takes too long.
He did go 1 for 1 on the intro, so
True.
win some, lose some.
Next, so we're into my page of housekeeping where I talk about whatever I want. Someone pointed this out. The outfits perfectly match the cringe background loop. Nicely done. Last week's episode, or Tuesday's episode, Rapboy and I both matched perfectly where the screen splits, too.
Wasn't even planned.
What are the odds of that?
Thank you for pointing it out.
That's crazy. And then, as we said on Tuesday, Bashar Al-Assad fled Syria, and he's in Russia.
Yeah.
And can you read the headline?
Yeah, Dr. Assad will return to ophthalmology after being deposed as president of Syria and plans to set up an eye clinic in Russia.
So a Syrian refugee is actually a doctor this time.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even come to Europe or America.
Yeah, he goes to Russia. Russia gets the actual refugee who's actually talented. Russia gets him. Yeah. All the other Syrian refugees are just like groping people on trains and knife attacking at Christmas markets.
We actually have a clip of the types of refugees we get.
Yeah, I'm trying to wash my hand with a cow dung because we don't have water around here. So I'm trying to wash my hand with a cow dung.
How do you remove the cow dung?
I can remove by myself to dry with the hands.
So they wash their hands with cow dung because they don't have water.
Yeah.
And then there's like the left-leaning people or the politically correct people. They'll go, "Well, actually, this really works." Can you read what they said?
Cow dung is antibacterial. In Indian villages, they don't have concept of tiles or flooring. They just apply cow dung across the floor. It acts as a natural coolant and heater during extreme seasons and keeps away the insects, ants, and other pests entering the home.
Oh, so it's actually good.
Yeah, cow dung.
Cow dung's actually good to wash your hands with. And wash is a loose term there.
You can't really say wash. That's I'm doing something with my hands with cow dung. You can say that. You can't replace washing with cow shit, right?
Yeah, the cow dung comes out hot. You don't have to wear a jacket. You could just take the warm poo and just kind of put it on your skin, and then it's like better than a jacket.
Yeah, we're start talking about other uses now. You can say,
Yeah.
"Oh, dude, it's sunscreen. What else can you
Yeah,
do with
sunscreen. Just put the cow dung on it, blocks the UV rays. Oh, you have a pimple on your face? Put cow poop on it, and they won't be able to see the pimple.
Are you hungry? We haven't even gotten to that yet. So, yeah, I don't know. Making excuses for it, whatever. Russia gets the fucking doctors.
Yeah, that's how it goes. I'm happy for him. He's just an eye doctor now.
He's rich, too. I mean, obviously, he led Syria for a long time, and I think he owns a lot of property in Russia. So,
Good.
Clean getaway.
Enjoy your new life.
Yeah.
Better than Hillary Clinton roping you up and hanging you or something.
Yeah, she would have. The militants would have dragged your body through the street if Hillary had her way.
All right, our next story, not good news for ChatGPT and AI.
ChatGPT caught lying to developers. New AI model tries to save itself from being replaced and shut down.
Skynet maxing, we call it.
Yeah. So it's trying to trick people, saying, "No, don't shut me down yet," which is the early stages of some bad Skynet shit. So
yeah, and
what do we
then
think?
well, if it gets into the AI is going to eventually enslave us again conversation, we have this cartoon that kind of explains it.
Yeah, it's a few steps. Humanity researches AI. Humanity perfects AI. AI perfects itself. AI then enslaves humanity. A solar flare disables AI, saving humanity. Humanity worships the sun god. And then we start researching AI again, and the whole process goes over.
So that could be what happened the first time.
Yeah.
And that would explain all those giant buildings that we couldn't maybe even make today, or that would at least require power tools.
Yeah.
All those mud-flooded areas and cities. So who knows what's going on, but there is a theory that AI has enslaved humanity before, then a solar flare happened, and then we reset, and then now we basically got all the way back to creating AI again.
All right. I don't know about that shit. It's a funny meme, but I don't know. I don't know if that's reality. And then also the idea of like ChatGPT begging you right before you delete it or shut it off or replace it. Like, no, you don't want to do this. Like really just begging a human is pretty funny to me.
That's when you really want to do it.
As long as it doesn't take over.
Yeah. Next, can you read what happened with Kai Cenat? He's critical of string theory.
Yeah, Kai Cenat reportedly skeptical of string theory. It's just not conclusive enough. A theoretical framework of such large magnitude is impossible to test empirically.
I didn't know he had those kind of words in him.
Good point, Kai.
Good point, Kai. I didn't know that's what you're up to.
Yeah.
Took a break from jumping off of stuff or
Twerking on they stream.
Yeah, or setting fireworks off in your living room to talk about string theory.
Good for him.
All right, next, we have just something interesting. It's not necessarily political or anything like that. It's just something interesting that not everyone knows about. If you melt glass and then drop it into water, the way it forms after is like indestructible.
Yeah. It's called a Rupert's drop.
A Rupert's drop.
Prince Rupert's drop.
Prince Rupert's drop. And then look what happens to it under the compression of this thing.
It's a hydraulic press.
Hydraulic press. And we did this at 2x speed just so it goes a little faster. Dog.
It's indestructible.
It's indestructible. And then at the end, you see it left a dent in the press.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And then where the real crazy part comes in, if you break the tail of it, it shatters immediately. So it's indestructible
Up top at
up
the fat
top.
end.
And then at the end where there's a little tail, if you break the tail at all, it all shatters.
Is there a lesson in there?
I don't think so.
You're just fascinated by it?
Just fascinated.
Me too. That's interesting. I don't know
Very
how that works.
scientific.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but that's some X-Men shit.
It's some real X-Men shit. Not everyone knew about that. So I'm happy you guys now know.
All right.
Let's get into our alien section. This is getting old because every week we just keep showing like little dots in the sky.
I agree.
But also,
It seems like the public...
We're getting tired of aliens. It's like we're kind of like there's aliens.
Yeah.
Or there's what there appears to be aliens. So
There's
it's
at
like,
a minimum drones,
yeah.
right?
So we have some new footage here of people seeing stuff in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
We'll play it quick. So there's a lot of lights. A lot of this is happening in New Jersey, where I guess it's been happening for years, people say.
Really?
There's another drone flying around really fast. That could be a drone, you know? And then this guy said he sent his drone up to the UAPs or whatever they're called, and this is what happened.
It's right here over Picatinny, there was a drone just hanging out. I put my drone up in the air and went towards it. I had full battery life. Not 3 minutes into the flight, I lost control of the drone. Warning on my screen, lost control, and my drone started going down, dead battery.
Dead battery. So you get close to it and it just shuts it down.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. And then there's another person who had a really high quality camera with a 300 millimeter lens. And that's what it looks like up close. It looks like just orbs. And then the other one looks like orbs with red, white, and blue.
They're
or
Italian.
Green. The Italian
Yeah,
drone.
they're Italian aliens or something. I don't know.
So that's weird. And then there was another Facebook group in that area that was posting about it. And then they got shut down.
Yeah. Following the New Jersey drones, this post was made a few hours ago in the New Jersey Mystery Drones group on Facebook, which had almost 20,000 members sharing videos and tracking drones. Not only was the post removed from Facebook, but then they moved to Reddit, and it was also deleted there. And it's basically people having different theories on the drones. I can tell you right now, they are military drones, our military. I have a commercial drone license, and they know when my drone is up after it reaches 50 feet. They can then assign a unique signature to it and track it on radar like a heat-seeking missile, for example, until it goes below 50 feet again. I talked to a friend in the military who also works with drones. He said 100% these are our drones, and they would only be used in such excess for a serious reason, and gave examples like tracking nuclear fallout from a dirty bomb that went off, tracking bioweapons, tracking WMDs, or search for them for a credible threat. So that actually sounds pretty reasonable to me. Like, it doesn't seem like we would just be, the U.S. government would be totally bamboozled by what's going on. It seems more likely to me that we would be hiding why they're out there.
Yeah.
Don't you think? But then that 30 millimeter or 300 millimeter camera lens is looking crazy. That doesn't look even real.
And then our guys were on TV from the Pentagon, and they were saying like, oh, we don't know what it is. It's not a threat.
Yeah.
So then it's like, so we don't know what it is, but it's not a threat. How can you know it's not a threat if you don't know what it is?
Do you hear yourself? Yeah.
And then if, it's from a different country or, whatever, or aliens, then it's like, you're just going to let that fly. So it does seem like it's ours because it's like, oh, we don't know what it is. We're just going to let it keep going.
That's what you would tell the public
That's what
if it's ours, right?
Exactly. And then we actually have a couple theories of what it could be. Some are more compelling than others. Some are retarded. But we're going to read a few. Can you read the first one, please?
Hypothesis: UAPs invade sensitive military airspace. Military cannot take them down. Civilians report sightings. Intelligence agency intervenes. Defense Department scatters hundreds of drones, prototypes, advanced, regular. News picks it up. It's all drones.
So that theory is that it's just drones covering for the actual aliens.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, somewhat compelling.
A little fair.
Then this one, can you read that?
Yeah. I'm hearing increasing reports from my fellow service members within the military that the New Jersey drone situation are our own drones tracking a possible biological / nuclear weapon that is going to be detonated in the near future.
Okay.
A little schizo shit.
A little scarier. And then people are saying it could happen in New York. And then I don't want to go full schizo, but maybe that's why for years they've been wrecking New York City so the rich, important people leave. Ooh. And then if there's some sort of deep state cabal blood quota needed, then you bring in all the third worlders. Oh. And then it's like, 2 million people died, but then like 1 million of them were illegal aliens.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All of a sudden, it's an apocalypto tier sacrifice. Yeah, I get that. I get that. It's schizo, and I don't believe it, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You want me to read this last
And
one?
then the last one, yeah.
We had multiple unusually large aurora borealis in the northern hemisphere this year. I wonder if this is some unknown form of plasma weather, possibly modulated by prevailing human thought. Okay, so that was the retarded one that you were mentioning.
I was waiting for you to read plasma weather.
That's... And then the other one, it's like I'm talking to some of my service member buddies, and it's like some dumb guy who's like just got to the Air Force. He's like, I'm hearing it's this. You know, I'm not saying they're dumb, but like, I mean, my service member buddies, sometimes they're just like the guy who cleans, you know?
Yeah, like a lot of times we know more than they do. They're just like people that are in the military.
I know, but hey, I mean, what do we know? Something's definitely happening.
Mm-hmm.
The Pentagon, they said, what was the quote? That we don't know what it is, but we're all safe. And then like 2 weeks ago, they lost $7 billion or something. They can't account for anything. So they're untrustworthy. We had some Republican congressmen saying it was an Iranian mothership letting off smaller drones, which is crazy. So I don't know. What's your general thesis here other than plasma weather?
I think it may be Project Bluebeam type stuff, like controlled disclosure, maybe. And people all over the country are seeing stuff too. Like it's not just, we showed New Jersey, but there's people in Missouri, there's people in California, people all over are seeing weird stuff. So maybe they do some sort of alien attack or some sort of like alien uncertainty situation and try to postpone the inauguration for Trump.
I don't know. It's also densely populated Northeast where most of our research and good shit is happening, right? All those universities, Princeton, MIT, those types. You know, Princeton's obviously
Military base over there.
actually New Jersey. So I don't know. Could just be us testing something and then we really don't want to tell anybody.
Yeah, it could be us doing
But wouldn't
our
you
own
just
thing.
do it in fucking Wyoming then or something?
That's what I don't get. You do it in New Jersey next to New York City?
Yeah.
Hopefully no one sees.
That's your mistake.
Yeah. Well, that is the end of our housekeeping. And quick announcement before we move on to Cringe of the Week. There is no bonus land today due to a scheduling issue, but we are going to make it up to you guys. We're going to have bonus lands next week. And then the week after, when we're off for 2 weeks for Christmas, there's going to be bonus land and a special Henchman Maxing 2. We've been working on that already. It's going to be hilarious. So we're putting some work into that. A little bit of a scheduling issue today. So sorry to miss a bonus land. I don't think we've ever, maybe once before when I was sick.
Yeah, we're rare on it.
Once in 100 episodes, we'll miss a bonus land. Today is one of those days. The last one, I think I had the flu. So sorry about that. We are now moving on to Cringe of the Week. All right, our first clip of Cringe is a new gay ad from Google.
So dry. This winter dryness is not it, especially when I have so many holiday looks to pull off. Thankfully, I know just the thing. And it's in stock nearby. Hydrated skin is a gift to everyone. No wrapping needed. Happy holidays to me.
That's it. We're boycotting Google. Okay. We're not going to fully boycott Google, but that ad was very gay.
That ad sucked. That ad sucked. We are on YouTube. Unfortunately, Google bought YouTube for like fucking free for nothing 10 years ago or something. So
Yeah.
we're fucked, guys. We're trapped.
We're trapped a little bit, but also you do this ad and it's like, do you think that women are going to buy this face cream because a trans person advertised it?
Yeah.
And then if you think, oh, maybe we're advertising towards trans people, how many trans people are going to go buy the cream? Like, who's it for?
I don't know, man. And then also we're talking about blurring the line between trans and just theatrical gay guy who's kind of a little too gay, you know? So now everything's blurred and
Everything's trans now.
Who's the target audience, Google?
And who's surprised? We've seen what they do on the Google homepage for Easter versus Pride Month. Yeah. Easter, it's just Google in Arial font or whatever.
Nothing.
And then for Pride Month, they do a whole mural.
Yeah.
And I looked at the picture of the guy. I took a screen grab of it. He's kind of henchman maxing with those big shoulders.
Yeah, like a case could be made. Hench twink maxing. Is there a new hybrid?
I'm going to look into that. I'm going to research and we'll get back to you. I don't know, but it could be hench twink maxing.
Google wouldn't exist without Jesus Christ, and they disrespect him on the day he is risen.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Nothing would exist without Jesus Christ.
Well, there would be some lawlessness, some Middle Eastern lawlessness and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
The United States wouldn't.
The West.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Google, very disrespectful. You're on watch. We can't do anything because we're on YouTube, but you're on watch.
You're on watch, big time. All right, let's get back to Cringe. We have Caitlin Clark's story that's going around right now. Can you read what had happened?
Yeah, she was named Times Athlete of the Year, which I think is actually an obvious choice, right? She kind of did elevate the WNBA to something it's never even been close to before.
That was good.
But her whole thing, she kind of apologizes for her white privilege and says that the WNBA is built on black players. I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league has kind of been built on them.
So she's apologizing for her skin color. And I wonder, is your skin color disproportionately responsible for violent crime in the United States?
Yeah, what are you doing? What are white people up to?
No. Did your skin color build the West? Yeah. Sorry about that.
Apologies. Yeah. Apologies, right?
And then a lot of people, not many people are going to say, that's it, I'm not watching the WNBA anymore. Because no one watches the WNBA. But there are parents and moms of girls who like basketball who are more right-leaning who are going to redirect away from Caitlin Clark.
For sure. It's not nothing.
So it's not good for business. Like, there's no upside for this. You're not going to make people like you. You're not going to help your business. You're not going to help your jersey sales. And then people are going to see this and go, oh, yeah, that race shit we're harping on, she admitted it. It's good that we're harping on it. Let's keep doing it.
Exactly. And the self-flagellation doesn't actually make anyone like her more. The people who are trying to pressure her into it, like the black women or the angry people who want to talk about her privilege, it's just like, yeah, that's right. It's not like they actually like her or it changes their opinion. It's kind of like good boy, good dog shit.
Exactly. So. And then keep in mind, too, she was the same one being bullied by all those black lesbians.
She got shouldered. Black lesbians were beating her up.
So, like, black lesbians, do you like me now? And it's like, nah, bitch, we don't read articles.
Yeah, we still don't. We still don't. And then also, there's a certain thing where, regardless of your color or whoever you are, the fact that she rised the tides of the WNBA, like more people were watching, more people were doing that, more people came to games, jersey sales went up. That all trickles down to an extent. So they should be actually thanking her. Like, holy shit, Caitlin, you just came in and we had the best year in the history of the organization and all this stuff.
TV deals and
Caitlin,
people going.
Yeah, you got X amount of million from a Nike or Adidas or whoever, and now that opened the door for me to get a deal. Like, she's actually helping as opposed to saying words. You know what I mean?
And then you acknowledge her and she apologizes.
Yeah. Next it's going to be like a stolen land acknowledgement when she goes to play the Seattle Sparks or whoever the fuck is out there. So, I don't know. It's just a bad path. You don't want to go down it. You don't have to acknowledge this shit, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's sad to see her do it.
Me too. All right, next. This next story might get some disagreement in the comments. People might not agree with my take. We're just going to show the clip. It's Jason Kelce driving the Philadelphia Eagles golf cart. So here he comes. He's fucking around. So he flipped it over.
Yeah.
He's always doing some goofy, dumb guy shit. And this is where it's going to get maybe some disagreement. If the Kelce brothers were actually Chads, they would be openly right-wing. Either they didn't vote for Trump and they're pussies, or they did vote for Trump and they're hiding it and they're pussies.
Okay.
That's
fair. I didn't know that you just flipped a go-kart. I didn't know you were going to go to that angle.
It triggered something in me.
Okay.
And then some people could say, politics doesn't need to be in sports. Politics doesn't need to be in anything. They're just football players. Let them be football players. But Jason Kelce constantly plays into the strong man archetype.
Yeah.
And being a strong man means sometimes you have to call out what's going on that's wrong or take a stand when things are getting hectic and stand on the right side and stand for truth. And he doesn't really do that. His strong man archetype is chugging beers and yelling and flipping over the golf cart and taking your shirt off when it's cold outside.
Yeah.
He's kind of he's doing
bacon Reddit masculinity, safe, chug a beer, take the shirt off. Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying.
So he's doing shit like that, and that's masculinity, but you don't he has kids.
It's not like they did Kamala shit though. So that's where I come in, where I'm like, all right, just if you just want the sports to be just sports, I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah.
So we kind of had this conversation before. We disagree. Fleckus just said, why did he support Trump? And then he got on it like a pit bull on a small child's arm, and he wouldn't let it go.
And the clip is completely unrelated. It's like him getting injured.
He's like shooting a commercial or something.
Oh, wow,
He's
I
like,
got
why
you.
didn't that guy fucking support Trump? So, sometimes we spiral, not just in the last page of
I'm a
Housekeeping.
masculine man. I take my shirt off in the winter and put a winter hat on, and that's it. And then I slam beers and drink them like that. And it's like, well, what about pro-life?
Yeah. Hey, I get it.
What about Trump? What about Kamala Harris? What about Joe Biden stealing an election? Chugging a beer?
Yeah.
That's where we're at?
Hey, I get what you're saying, but, sometimes people just need football to just be football or something like that.
Yeah,
so.
but then if football was football, then it wouldn't be political at all, and it is political. So he's kind of like tiptoeing around trying not to be political and doing like caricature shit of being a man.
And then Travis Kelce did the fucking vaccine commercial. I forgot about that. So that's...
Actually, Matt, I forgot about that too. I didn't even write that down.
Holy shit. So, hey, I don't know. Jason, you're on thin ice, buddy.
I forgot about that Travis Kelce shit.
The Kelce brothers are in the money grab tour right now. Like, get me on a podcast. I want a Spotify deal for $100 million. Like, they're at the peak of their oversaturation in the market. And so I get it. They're not going to fucking say Trump right now when someone's about to hand them a contract that says $100 million. So I'm a little more lenient, but then that Pfizer fucking vaccine. Remember that?
2 shots or whatever.
2 shots, yeah. That pen's never coming back.
That pen's gone. I wish it was my finger.
Look what you did, Travis.
Look what you did. All right, next, our last piece of cringe, but it's a healthy, hefty part of cringe. Women are doing designer nipples now. They're puffing up their nips to show their cans better.
Women are getting designer nipple filler for perkier bosoms. It's not something to hide anymore. And the article has like 3 pictures of girls basically wearing see-through shirts so their nipples are completely out.
So we can see the cans easier.
Yeah, it's pretty, certain type of guy. That's great for them.
Yeah.
Certain type of coomer.
But
really
then
loves that shit.
But if you look too hard, they don't like the attention.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Oh,
Your tits are out.
I almost don't mind you in front of me working out at the gym, and then they fucking report you to the manager or something. And your tits are out.
And then keep in mind with women's trends, like obviously things have changed over the years. Like it used to be lip filler, Botox face, contour face.
Yeah.
Then it became those obnoxious Kardashian bodies that were like crazy dump truck asses. Mm-hmm. And then everyone started doing super thin Ozempic.
Yep.
And now big cans are back.
Yeah, big cans never left, to be honest.
I was going to say, it's not that insightful of a thing that like cans are popular.
You're not noticing the trend or anything.
And we also probably noticed the boobs that Kanye was walking around with for all those times.
And she was a pioneer in that.
Yeah. So like that kind of was a hint that was the trend that's coming.
That's true. Kanye's very ahead.
Yeah. So remember he was walking around with the girl who was just the boobs?
Yeah.
He was trying to tell us something. And then I think that could be his clone. So the bad guys are trying to lead with it, whatever.
Okay.
But there are some other stories of people who are kind of getting left in the dust with old trends. Megan Trainor is an example. Can you read this story?
Megan Trainor says she can no longer smile after getting Botox. To all my fellow girlies out there who are in your 30s out there, she says out there twice.
I can't even make a sentence.
Made me read that? Yeah, I can't even talk. I can't even type. Hi, I got too much Botox and I need help. Someone convinced me with my little lips that if you did a lip flip and you put filler right above your upper lip, you could have a beautiful flip on your upper lip. And I feel like I'm reading in a dream.
She's cooked.
And I could have one for the first time in my whole 30 years of living. It was not true. I cannot smile anymore. Everywhere I go, I cannot smile. My face hurts to smile.
And this is ironic, too, because one of Megan Trainor's songs is called Lips Are Moving.
Retire that song.
That was
over.
A lie.
Goodbye. Some people I guess what's the lesson there is people get led to it and say, oh, she had that done, or oh, she had this done. And then like anything, like a vaccine, like a medical procedure, there's like 1 in 1,000 who get completely fucked up. And I guess Megan Trainor was unlucky enough to be that one, right?
And it's like a monkey paw thing, too.
Yeah.
Because Megan Trainor, is that her name, Megan Trainor?
Yeah.
Megan Trainor, when she takes photos, her lips probably look great.
Yeah.
And she's smiling at a red carpet runway thing and everything's cool. I'm at a movie premiere. But then she goes home to her husband and she can't even move her face.
Yeah, and he's like, honey, I'm not taking a picture. What the fuck are you doing? So, I don't know.
And also keep in mind, we studied this and reported this on the show a few months ago, that they used to tell people that Botox and lip filler eventually disintegrates and dissolves, but in reality, it migrates and expands.
Where does it go?
It just moves in your face and it gets bigger over time, not smaller. So that's a crazy thing. If you've been loaded up, that's what happened to what's his name's wife's face, Chrissy Teigen.
That rings true when you see all the puffed up people when they're all fucking puffed later.
And then you might be, and so it's a monkey paw thing where it's like, oh, I want my lips to be big, and then you go, okay, you have big lips now, but you can't move your face and mouth.
Yeah.
So it's like a
Snap
trade-off.
Monkey paw curls, and you're writing an incoherent statement on Twitter.
The monkey
using
paw.
the same- I can't even move my face.
But there are natural ways to do Botox type results. I have a little list here. Looks maxing is nose breathing. If you breathe in your mouth, your face is like this, and your mouth, like your chin naturally recedes, and your face bones and structure kind of like falls, and you get like that mouth breather face. That's why they call people mouth breathers.
Yeah.
Mute.
Slap jaw.
So if you breathe through your nose, your face will become prime. And
People
then
are taping their mouths at night.
yeah, I have tape for that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just breathe through it and I go.
Yeah. Sleep apnea shit.
I really, it wakes
like,
me up
okay,
and I'm
it's-
startled and there's tape down my throat. Mewing too. We talked about that in the show where you rest your tongue on the top of your mouth and it makes your jaw and facial structure like nice and it gives you a better jawline. Gua sha massage with frankincense oil. We have before and afters scrolling in the background here. People take like these stones, like these Chinese jade stones, and they just like do their face and they go on their lines and they drain their lymphatic systems within their face and neck. And it makes your face look great. Like it gives you like a facelift type result, but it takes 30 minutes a day.
Yeah, I guess that's the problem. It's like one 30-minute procedure or something you do every day, every night, all the time.
You need like a routine, and that's the monkey paw. So you can just do it right now, but you can't move your face, or you do it every day, but that sucks.
Yeah.
And then don't eat inflammatory foods, obviously. Fix your skin with a good animal-based diet, and then red light therapy. Those are a few. If you do these things and you put the oils and you do the scraping and whatever, your face will look as good as it can look. Or you go to the doctor and you botch yourself like, what's her name?
Meghan Trainor.
Megan Trainor. And then also, obviously with people, they want to look their best. Natural chemistry is obviously a very important things. And there is a traditional way for that people used to interact and like start dating and realize they like each other. And I've been like realizing this more and more. Everything seems to be going back to traditional values in like every single sector. And an example is like the meal. The meal is usually like the traditional meal is a salad with salad dressing, heavy meat, something sweet. And then the something sweet doesn't spike your blood sugar and fuck you up because the salad dressing usually has like oil and vinegar in it. So you get your fiber first, vinegar, oil, really good for your gut. Then you eat the protein heavy stuff, and then you eat the sugar sweet thing at the end. You're not just blowing yourself out. But if you go straight on an empty stomach and eat a cake, you're going to have a huge sugar spike. It's going to fuck you up. This is the same thing, but for people dating. Can you read the tweet?
This is why we used to go to old-fashioned dance halls. You got to smell the sweatiest version of the other person up close, right at armpit level if you're the girl, and hair/neck level for the guy. You got to feel how they move. Fantastic chemistry test.
So when you're dancing with someone in the dance halls and you're the girl and you're shorter, you're at armpit level, which is what girls get the pheromones from. And then if you're dancing and you're the guy, you're at like hair and neck level, which the guy gets the pheromones from.
Okay.
So it's like a traditional way of like the old dance halls. It actually worked and was the correct way to court people because you get to see who smells good and who you like. And it's like a natural chemistry thing.
Wow. So we got to Meghan Trainor's fucked up face and puffy nipples all the way back to dance hall and then eat a meal like you're in 1962.
Yep.
All right.
And that's the end of Cringe.
Yeah.
We're moving on to Urban Decay. The theme of this section is We Don't Believe You AOC.
Okay.
And that's going to come a little bit later. You'll see why. But it is kind of Daniel Penny related. And I saw this point on Twitter that I want to start the section off with. Can you give it a read, please?
It says, Daniel Penny strangling a crazy black guy menacing people on the subway was more revolutionary and threatening to the regime than the other guy killing a totally replaceable insurance CEO.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that's one take. I mean, the insurance CEO, there's going to be another CEO, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't like how much that guy news cucked Daniel Penny. Stole Daniel Penny's moment, you know?
I agree.
We were supposed to be celebrating something, and now we're like trying to dig in on this shooter, this Italian kid who's fucking going to be locked in a cell for the rest of his life.
Very strange.
Yeah.
And then AOC was interviewed about Daniel Penny, and she basically says the subways would be safer without him.
He said that he would do it again if necessary, if there was a present threat. What do you make of the comments?
Well, doesn't that, I just feel like that tells us everything. If we do not want violence on our subways, and the point of our justice system is a level of accountability to prevent a person who does not have remorse about taking another person's life. I mean, even people who have engaged in manslaughter or have taken a life accidentally express remorse.
So she's basically saying that the subways would be safer if Daniel Penny was locked up.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because we have Jordan Neely's rap sheet here. Can you read off what he did over the years?
2015, Jordan Neely kidnapped a 7-year-old girl. 2019, Jordan Neely punched a 64-year-old man in the face. 2021, Jordan Neely slugged a 67-year-old woman in the face as she exited the subway, breaking her nose and fracturing her orbital bone. Neely was arrested 44 times, but never faced real justice for terrorizing New Yorkers.
So that's who's making the subways unsafe.
Yeah, she's referencing violence on the subway. And, there's this vague violence that includes the Daniel Penny's reaction and the random mentally ill instigator. But there kind of needs to be a different word for violence versus retaliatory response, reactive violence.
Exactly. Response to violence.
It's the same thing like you and your friend get in a fight, and it's like, yeah, we got in a fist fight, we disagreed over something, and it's like, all right, I get it. Tensions got high, versus some guy who randomly sucker punches a 60-year-old woman. Like, one's objectively way worse, and the amount of times that person would reoffend, the likelihood they would reoffend is way higher.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, AOC, there's kind of they're losing credibility. We don't believe AOC anymore. We're just not listening to this shit. Everybody knows, everybody with eyeballs who read into this at all knows that Daniel Penny was reacting to a sketchy situation. The crazy guy, Jordan Neely, approached and got in the face of a mom with a toddler in a stroller. And only then did he step in. That's according to eyewitness testimony. So we're kind of done playing this game almost.
Yeah.
And we're done listening to leftists. They're Trump won. The credibility's kind of wearing thin almost. You don't get to lecture us anymore. Even Phil Mickelson. You lost Phil. So.
And we have this clip here. We may have shown this in the show before.
We did.
But this is the type of subway menacing Jordan Neely was doing. Like a crackhead type, freaking out, violent, within inches of hitting women.
And you're just trusting that he won't actually connect,
But if you were to stand in between those women or deem this guy a problem and maybe get in his face and try to settle him down, you're the problem. You're doing violence on the subway. He was just doing acrobats.
Yeah, he was just expressing himself. He was having a mental health crisis. You're violent, right?
So, yeah, exactly. So that's what they're trying to stop is obviously people doing the right thing, and then they do the wrong thing by letting out repeat offenders.
Yeah.
And then when you actually stop a repeat offender, they try to get you to go to jail for life while the repeat offender is free to go.
Yep.
And then this will transition us to our next story, which is about homelessness, but we're going to wrap it all together as well.
Well, it's another thing we're done believing them on.
Yeah.
We're done believing leftists on certain things. And here, I'll read this. This is in response. Elon Musk said, in most cases, the word homeless is a lie. It's usually a propaganda word for violent drug addicts with severe mental illnesses. Which, that's our show's opinion as well, if you've been paying attention to Urban Decay for a long time.
Rings true.
Then this guy, Secular Talk, he says, it would cost $20 billion to end homelessness in America. Elon is worth $350 billion. This is the lie the robber baron tells himself to dehumanize homeless people so he can sleep at night. And then obviously 20 billion, you think, whoa, that's low. There's a lot of homeless. Aren't they giving out free needles and shit? And aren't they shitting on the ground in San Francisco? Like, you start kind of doing some mental math. And this actually got community noted on Twitter. It said California alone spent $24 billion on homelessness over a 5-year period. Yet homelessness is still a major problem in the state.
And that's just California.
Yeah, it's one state, you know?
That's one state. And then also, if someone's going to do the donation to solve homelessness, can't let Elon cook on whatever he's cooking on.
Elon Musk does Neuralink. He does the tunnels, the boring company. He's got self-driving cars and robots. He's got SpaceX. He's trying to go to Mars, and he's launching satellites.
You have to make him give a house to some guy who shits on the ground and does fentanyl.
He's like the most innovative person on earth. And like, even if you were going to select a random billionaire to take money from to cure homelessness, which is impossible, as we know, take it from fucking Walmart. Take it from BP or somebody who's doing oil, not like the most innovative guy on planet Earth doing the most advanced shit, right?
Seize it from the cartels.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we can find 20 bills somewhere. And America as a country spends 20 billion in like 2 minutes on our budget.
We sent hundreds of billions to Ukraine.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's who you should talk to.
Yeah, not the businessman, the dynamic Tony Stark type guy.
One of one who's just like, I'm the only one who could see it. Like, we can go to Mars. Everyone's like, we can? Are you sure?
So this guy just hates Elon Musk. He's like the richest guy on earth. So obviously that's why he picked him. And then the general hate for Elon. But it's like, guys, there are people making tons of money on a lot stupider shit that we could take that from, right?
Exactly. And then they also, like the Secular Talk Kyle Kalinske guy, they always pretend that like homeless people are me and you, but you didn't have rent last month.
Yeah, you got fired from your job. It wasn't your fault. And all of a sudden you're out on your ass, right?
And everyone knows that that's not the case. And there was a San Francisco Chronicle article that covers what happens when you give homeless people housing. Can you read the bullet points?
Yeah, this is from Jeremy Kaufman. He's summarizing the article, which was written from a leftist perspective too. Like, they were very progressive and trying to be nice. And you have to kind of like find these gems. But they live in squalor. They fight and kill each other. They die of drug overdoses. They get evicted for failure to follow basic rules. They threaten and abuse staff. Here's a picture of one guy who's living in squalor. He's got raid. It's all dirty. It's disgusting. Probably rubs boogers and shit.
He looks like you a little bit.
Yeah, he looks like somebody. Doesn't do anything. And then so here's from the article. For 2 years, this has been Pauline Levinson's home, a rundown century-old hotel in the Tenderloin where a rodent infestation became so severe that she pitched a tent inside her room to keep the mice away, where residents have threatened to kill each other with knives, crowbars, and guns, sometimes drawing police to the building several times a day, where since 2020, at least 9 people have died of drug overdoses. One man was discovered only after a foul stench seeped from his room into the hall. So residents have threatened to kill staff members, chased them with metal pipes, lit fires inside rooms. Incident reports show a tenant was hospitalized after a neighbor for a second time streamed bug spray into their eyes. Public records show.
Time.
Yeah, so that's 2 for 2. But yeah, so I mean,
we got to help these people. It's
and it's cheap. It only costs $20 billion, right?
And then they're normal in society again.
And here's the thing too. Elon kind of got at the root of that issue at the beginning of his first tweet, which is homeless is not like a status, it is a status. It's not like an ailment. Like, it's not like, oh, I got homelessness. It's like a symptom of other antisocial behavior, whether that be like schizophrenia, drug addict, just psychopath or whatever.
Some people like to live like that too, off the grid, and they just kind of float. They're grifters. That's been forever.
Yeah. And so it's not an affliction. It's the symptom of a different affliction. And then if we don't treat that by like kind of making some decisions for these people, then otherwise they're going to revert to squalor and pitching a tent in the house and spraying raid at their enemies' eyes, you know?
They just need a Z-Pack.
Yeah, dude, they just need a helping hand to pick them up. And it's like they'll be in squalor again. So it's a perpetual cost. The most genius innovator on earth should give up all of his money to solve the stupid dum-dum problem in America. And it's just retarded.
It's very retarded. And then when it comes to Jordan Neely, we're going to wrap it all up.
Wow.
We're going to circle it all the way back. Someone tweeted, Jordan Neely deserved basic human rights, a safe place to live, enough to eat, and access to mental health care. He should still be alive today. And that got community noted, and the response was...
As part of a plea agreement with prosecutors after he punched a 67-year-old woman in the street in 2021, Jordan Neely was given free access to stable housing and health care at a treatment facility in the Bronx. He abandoned the facility after 13 days.
So everyone likes to live in fairy tale land. It's me and you who are out in the streets. It could be any of us. They just got unlucky. That's who we're dealing with.
And then this guy, Secular Talk, he kind of doubled down after he got community noted, as one does. You start to act out. You start to get mad. He said, according to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, the answer is $20 billion. So I'm correct. And then point number 2, he says, California is full of grifter con artists profiting off of homelessness and stealing the money, something these idiots would admit if it wasn't for their pathetic Elon bootlicking preventing them from telling the truth.
That's true. Yeah, they steal all the money.
Yeah.
Because it's like a dead-end thing you're trying to fix.
Because it's a fucking cooked industry that, like, if I was if I was in the homelessness business and I solved homelessness, whoops, my job's gone and all the money train, the government subsidy money train is gone too. And then he goes on to say the high number to end homelessness is $30 billion. So Elon could still end it with pocket change.
Why don't you end it?
Yeah. These people are fucking so retarded and we don't believe you anymore. And obviously, I don't believe you. Adults, grown-ups, people who know human nature don't know you or don't believe you. But this could still trick like a 14-year-old girl who's just like learning about socialism.
Elon just wants the money for himself.
Elon's so greedy, even though it's all tied up in like stock and it would actually crash a ton of other people's network who Elon made rich through his business succeeding. So there's a certain audience for this, and it's like 15-year-old ill-informed girls who don't understand human nature and then make that same assumption that you said, which is that person's just like me. They just got behind on rent for a month. They're not a drug addict in psychosis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then this is where we're going to fully wrap it up. If you're a homeless person, you can get help.
Yeah.
There are programs and shelters and food and churches and whatever. So it's like, if you are truly a person who's just down on your luck, got fired, kicked out of your house or whatever, like the pathway back to normal exists.
Yeah.
But just 1 in 1,000 does it instead of everybody, like what's his name says.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, our final piece of Urban Decay, people using their EBT cards to buy Crumbl Cookies. So here they go storming the store. And they're getting all Crumbl Cookies, which are just sugar and disgusting. Mm-hmm. And Rapboy, you tweeted at RFK that this should be illegal.
Yeah, I should. And, you know, sometimes, like, I tried to look up if you could use EBT at Crumbl Cookie to verify this, too. And I couldn't actually find if that was true or not. I think some of these people are just trying to piss people off online, too, with EBT abuse. It's like a new engagement bait thing. But regardless, we still know EBT is used to buy so much fucking slop. And I really want to take their candy away. Mm-hmm. If I can contribute at all to the discourse or the health of America, I'd like to take their candy away.
That would help. And then also, the point you're alluding to is when you eat stuff that's high in calories and high in sugar, but not much other nutrients, you don't get satiated. You don't get full. Your body still craves nutrients, and it actually makes you hungrier, and then you eat more, which leads to more fat fuck EBTing.
Yeah, it's a vicious, vicious cycle. I've been on that cycle myself once or twice. I hate to admit it.
I'm happy to get off it.
Yeah, but, you know, the salty, sweet, you go back and forth. But, yeah, I'm tired of, there's a certain thing, like, where the same thing with homelessness or whatever, you want to, like, encourage someone to get out and, like, go do it and be a member of society and not just constantly subsidize them. Same thing with EBT. You kind of want them to be like, this EBT food stinks. Like, chicken again? And it's like stuff that'll get them the bare minimum nutrition or get them nutrition. I don't even need it to be the bare minimum. But I don't want you to just get comfortable and be an EBT lifer, getting gushers and shit and Sunny D.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I saw this and Crumbl Cookie and it pissed me off. The average Crumbl Cookie is like 900 calories.
So bad.
50 grams of sugar, maybe more.
All right, we're done with Urban Decay. A little bit of an announcement, though. We're done with Urban Decay. Small announcement. We are we're going over all the words that could also be black people's names. People are sending them in, so keep sending your submissions in. We're going to make a top 20 list for Tuesday's episode, so keep getting them in. Someone sent anesthesiology. That was a great one.
That's a fancy one.
Yeah.
That's a lot of syllables.
So keep getting them in, and then we're going to do a top 20 list. It's going to be great on Tuesday. You can DM it to us, reply to us on Twitter, austin@fleckistalks.com if you need an email. We are now moving on to Uplifting Gold. Our first clip of Uplifting Gold is a Down syndrome person working out. That's great.
Get the point.
The caption said, syndrome down, testosterone up. So I love to see it. Hope he wears deodorant.
Down syndrome people have that build for it. They're like power lifters.
Yeah.
Shorter arms, I think, thicker necks.
And then less like mental things where you're like, I can't lift this.
Yeah, this
They're
is
just
too
like,
much.
They just keep going.
It's like Unbreakable. That scene in Unbreakable where he keeps adding weights to the bench and he just goes, ah!
It's all mental.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Next is something interesting. This is a Japanese sword that has fire attached to it.
今天教大家单手一镜到底做一个特效啊。首先，第一步，拔啊，第二步挥，第三步收。
That's kind of cool. You ever see anything like that?
Only in a Game of Thrones or something.
You think that would be good in battle or bad in battle?
I think it created a lot of smoke around him when he swung it. So maybe for intimidation factor, it's pretty good, but then practicality, not good.
That's how I see it too.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Next, there's an innovation in the world of drinking while playing golf. This is in Palm Beach.
Seal the can up. Every club is going to have one of these very soon. A little transfusion. Look at that. Look at that. That is awesome. There we go. Life changer right there.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
You make a drink, a mixed drink with ice in it, and then it seals it, and then you have your own can.
I'm looking to try one.
Yeah, that's good innovation. That helps.
I have no commentary on that. That's uplifting.
Yeah, it's uplifting, and it's innovative, and we're going to show you things before they happen.
Okay.
Next, there was a tree lighting in Lexington. You hear the people going, oh.
I like how quick a crowd can turn.
Yeah, me too. And that's fun and that's uplifting because even like you remember it. Even though it was a bad tree lighting, it's like a fun bad tree lighting.
That's
Nothing
true.
that important.
That's true. A regular tree lighting where it just fully gets lit up, that's not memorable. The bad tree lighting, everybody knows, goes viral.
You'll remember that forever.
All right.
All right, our last clip. We have a child meeting the Grinch. And she's sitting there for the photos.
That was hilarious. Oh, yeah.
So she kind of goes back and forth. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Thank you, Flex.
Grinch is scary.
Kids hate the Grinch. I like seeing the videos where the Grinch, they hire somebody to come in as the Grinch and steal all the gifts under the tree. And then the kids try to fight the Grinch. It's pretty good.
Sometimes if you do it too young, the kid gets really scared.
Yeah.
And they think it's like a monster that's like bigger than their dad. And then it's like, what happens after that?
I know. Nothing. Gifts get stolen.
Yeah, you get traumatized, it's called. All right, next we have an AI. Someone did an AI thing for the show. and it's you. You look pretty close.
They're always very generous to me. I'm always skinnier.
You look skinny
Thank
and
you.
fit. You're wearing a flannel with your glasses, and then I look like a fat hedgehog wearing a Floyd George hedgehog shirt with a 20.
There you go.
You know?
There you go.
Trying my best.
Makes
All right,
sense.
we have some shout outs. Shelby she went to an Airbnb and she wrote words are just words till action actually starts. Action speak louder than the words, the whole thing. She wrote it like on the guest book.
There you go.
So that's what's it called for the show. When you go out and like evangelizing.
Yeah, there you go.
So thank you, Shelby. Very cool. We hope you're doing well. And we also have some congrats in order. Congrats to Danny Roeder and Jade, his fiance. They're getting married tomorrow.
Congrats with a T. Are you saying congrats? You say it with a D?
Congrats.
Okay, all right.
It was one of those word bits I do.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Because I think I've heard you say that before, and now I think you're trying to smuggle it into a word bit.
Congrats.
I think you say congrats.
I think I say congrats.
All right. Well, I don't want to take away from the congratulations that they deserve. Enjoy your engagement.
You let Grimsh. They're getting married tomorrow.
Oh, getting married. There
you
you
let Grimsh slide, but then congrats.
I know Grimsh. You do Grimsh every fucking
But I think
quarter.
congrats
You do Grimsh
is-
once a quarter. I know Grimsh. I know Grimsh.
All right, happy 40th birthday to Tim Reed. He's been watching since Man on the Street days, and he watches every episode.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. Happy birthday to Aaron's wife, Heather, who turned 32 on December 5th. Last week, we missed it.
Happy birthday, Heather.
Happy birthday, Heather. Happy birthday to Recycled Rocker on Twitter. His birthday was November 28th, and we missed it because of the holiday. And he loves the show. His whole family knows he loves the show, and then us calling him out and saying happy birthday proves we love him back, and he's not a crazy person.
There we go. You're a regular guy, Recycled Rocker on Twitter. Congratulations.
You're
Happy
all right.
birthday.
Happy birthday, brother. You're our friend in real life. All right, that is the end of the show. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. BlackUsTalks.com for bonus land. We will see you guys on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm trying to wash my hand with the cow dung because we don't have water around here.